Are you looking to get your music heard on a podcast? If so, use the link below to submit your music. We listen to 4 bands each week from around the world. We listen to 2 bands that we pick chronologically, one who comments below, so get involved, let us know what you think of the episode, and then one by random. So drop your music below so we can listen to it next week. Do you know what I've discovered?
What have you discovered?
I don't know though, because I don't know if this is... Do you know there are certain things in life that are like enjoyable to everyone, but no one realizes that other people like it? Do you know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, everyone did that.
How
about
when,
this?
when you were a kid and you used to pinch your foreskin and then urinate into it and balloon it up like a balloon.
I possibly, for the example, I was going to think sucking water out of a flannel while you're in the bath.
I never did that.
No, okay, well, I've heard
sucking
other people...
water out of a flannel?
Yeah, you'd get a flannel and you go, and then you waterboard yourself, basically.
No.
Well, the one that I found recently is that...
Wait, how old were you when you were doing this?
Like, I don't know, like 7 or 8.
Okay.
Like kid time. I've found, and I don't know if anyone else would ever possibly enjoy this, but pulling a nose hair out of my nose is such a great feeling for me. And I know it hurts so much because it makes my eyes water. But I get excited. Do you know when you're like, oh, I've got a bit of an itch on my nose? And then you go in, you're like, oh, this is a hair. And then you pull it out and it's really thick and like dark and long.
Oh, no. For me, it's ear stuff. That sounds weird, right? But bear with me. Have you ever had an ear infection?
Yeah, the worst thing that...
Horrible, yeah? It's disgusting, it's gross. But you get that part after the ear infection where the pain is kind of gone and you've still got like a bit of numbness and like you can't really hear stuff great and the pressure's all weird. But there is a point, right, in the healing process of your ear infection where everything just oozes out. Are you boiling me off?
No,
That's a thing.
I rolled the intro, is what happened there.
We can't start a podcast like that, but no, the ooze, like everything, the sensation of everything that is like...
No, listen, I've come with, like, pulling a nose hair out my nose is like an odd, satisfying thing for me, and you've come with ear infections.
Not ear, it's not satisfying to get an ear infection. It's the moment of release, and everything comes out, and I can't describe it. And it's kind of like it's almost the same as when you go like swim. Yeah, when you get water trapped deep in your ear, and it can be there for like days and days sometimes. But at some point, you'll be asleep or like drifting off, and then you feel it ooze out. It's like that sensation. Oh my god, I would pay for that sensation.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. I get that. There's you can get a spray that you put in your ear, and that's supposed to clear everything out. You put it in, and then 30 seconds later you go like that, and everything pulls out. Yeah,
but you know what I don't understand, right? Is I've been told all my life that you should not put cotton buds in your ears.
Yeah, true.
And then they're like, all right, shove this spray in there and just go nuts.
No, not go nuts. You just spray it once, and then it comes out.
Yeah, I tried it. I tried that when I had an ear infection. It doesn't ever seem to work.
Well, I don't think it's an ointment for getting rid of an ear infection. I think it's just to clear your ears out. But anyway,
I want to try one of those candles. Have you seen those candles? I don't know the work. It's one of those
17th century.
It's one of the things I've seen on like Facebook or TikTok, whatever. So it's probably bullshit.
You just melt it
but
out.
It's like a weird candle, right? And then you wear this little cone thing on your ear, and then you pop your ear over it. And then the candle, like, it melts all the wax, and then it all just pours out.
Do you know who would tell me to do that if I was like, oh, I've got an ear infection all blocked up? A plague doctor. Like one of those bird doctors.
Maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
Have you tried the ear candle? I don't know why
he's a pirate.
Yeah.
Have you tried the ear candle?
There's not a lot of money in plague doctoring. How's your week been, B?
We're talking about ear infections.
Yeah.
It's been great. Heyo! It's a podcast.
You didn't have an ear infection, no? That's a positive.
No, I didn't have an ear infection.
I don't think. I'm assuming.
No, not for a while. But yeah, no, it's been an average week. Not really a lot's happened. Not really a lot.
I pooped my pants yesterday. Don't know.
Yeah.
What was funnier is we were on a PlayStation party, and I had to be like, 1 second, beat, because I was like, I think I'm about to poop my pants. I've not pooped my pants as an adult, ever. Like, as a fully grown adult,
I just
I've not
can't
pooped
believe
my
that.
pants.
Until yesterday, you've never pooed your pants.
Until yesterday,
before,
and I will say, yesterday wasn't like a full poo in my pants, but it was like a.
I just feel like you're not living.
No, I am. It's fine. Yeah, it's not.
No, because
I did it yesterday.
I think if you haven't put yourself in a situation where you're going to poo your pants, right, then you're not doing life properly.
I think though. I would argue that maybe I'm just lucky because I've definitely been in a position where I've been like drunk enough to poo.
Because that's the thing. Like the amount of times I've been so drunk, right,
only a couple
and I've just been at home eating a kebab, watching a movie, right, absolutely drunk. And then, you think you get some bowel movements, you think it's one thing, and it's not that thing, it's another thing. And then you're like, I poo my pants.
I'll caveat.
And then I've been ill, like, at least a couple of times, and I've had little accidents.
Well, and this is the thing, so that's yesterday.
I mean, maybe there is I'll caveat. I have pooped my pants an embarrassing amount of times as an adult.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, and you're coming in strong here, but I know a few adults that have pooed their pants, and they would say they've pooed their pants a few times.
From my hands up, I got no shame.
I'm not going to throw anyone.
It's not like I'm walking. It's not like a weekly occurrence, and it's like I would say in my adult life, I've done it maybe 6 times.
I think this is like when you ask, do you know when you ask a guy and a girl how many people they've slept with? And there's maths behind the number, whereas like
you think I'm. I'm being
6,
conservative.
6 is at least 13. Right, I'm timesing that by 2, and I'm adding 1. I'm timesing it by 2 for what you've done, and then I'm adding 1 for the one that you forgot.
Maybe.
Here's where I'm at. I'm being careful with the wording here. I've not pooed my pants as an adult. However, shit the bed once.
Right. See, I've never shit the bed.
Which. Also, I will throw back yesterday. There was a great moment where I had pooed my pants. That wasn't the great moment, but after that, I said to my partner, I was like, "I just shit myself," and she was like, "Why? What happened?" And I was like, "No, not like that. I've just pooed my pants." Yeah, and then her concern was that she'd just done the laundry. She was like, "Oh, I did all the laundry. It's just happened today," which was lovely.
Which I think is great because I think it shows that you're lying as well, because if her reaction is literally it's just I've just done the laundry, it kind of feels like a regular occurrence.
No, so you're looking at that as like normality, right? Oh, not again. What it is just a fundamental lack of caring about me. Right, it's not are you okay, what's led to you shitting your pants, it's I've just done all the laundry.
Here's the thing though, so you're keeping those boxes.
I think the boxes are throw-in.
Because here's the thing, as a veteran pants shitter, right? Those bad boys are going straight in a bin.
Sure. So
straight in a bin. You get in the shower. You have a hose down.
How about this then? Actually, if I was going to say I've obviously pooed the bed. Right. I woke up once. I thought I had weed the bed. When you say you pooed the bed, right? In my head, I'm visualizing the dude from Trainspotting. Like, have you seen Trainspotting? Like, not in ages.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Long time ago.
But I mean, for anyone that's seen Trainspotting, that scene where obviously like he shits the bed and then the next morning there's like they want to put the laundry in and he doesn't want to give his girlfriend's mum the shitty bed. He's like, "Here, I'll do it," and then it goes everywhere.
So story time. Well, okay, it didn't go everywhere. Story time was I was living at my best friend's family's house at the time, going for a bit of a rough one. They put me up. So I had the situation I had was that I pooed the bed in someone else's house, and like I didn't do the laundry for that, so it was tricky. But I pooed the bed. I had a virus. I had a pretty bad, I think it was Zika virus or something like that. There was a big virus going around. Got it bad, so I could not control my poo-poos. I have just remembered from you saying about throwing the underwear that we then went to the hospital because it was like this is bad, right? Like. It's not like now my tummy is a bit funny and I go in the poo and it's bad. This was like there was no control. It would just flush out. This is a gross podcast, but I went to the hospital. I did poo my pants then. Go into the hospital, I pooed my pants.
That counts.
I ran in and I was like, "Where's the bathroom?" No, like over there. And I ran in and I pooed my pants and I had to throw them away. So I was just in my jeans when I went and saw the doctors. Fun story. I had a gig that night. And the doctor gave me these pills, and he was like, "If you take one of these pills a day, it will like constipate you." And I took like 4 of them or 5 of them.
Yeah, it's probably a mistake.
To block me up so I could play this gig. I played this little 30-minute gig slot, and then literally the last song, I was like, "Boom, thank you!" And I was playing bass at the time, dropped the bass, ran into the hotel room, just started pooing my life out. We won the competition we were playing. and everyone came back to the hotel room, and I was in the bathroom, but people didn't realise I was in the locked bathroom pooing my guts out, and I could hear everyone being like, "Where's Rob?" So it's a little poo story.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Let's move away from the poo.
No other times. Were you say? I don't know, man. No, I had some things that I'm bringing to the podcast. One of them I'm not happy about.
What's that?
I've hit a new stage of Matty Healy TikToks coming up.
Oh my god, I'm so happy because I've not seen Matty Healy on my TikTok for a long time.
Brace yourself.
And it's great.
Brace yourself.
Don't you dare send me Matt.
No, I'm not going to. But what I'm saying is, so obviously Matty Healy. I would love to
controversial figure on the channel.
I would love to know on this channel how many episodes we've spoken about each person to see who stacks up. But I think Matty Healy probably wins at the moment, which is crazy because I don't actually really care that much about the 1975. I'm not a fan. I don't aggressively hate them. I think that he needs to
I don't aggressively hate them, but every video I see, I'm like,
gross.
That guy's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like a top tier douchebag.
How about this? I've seen 2 separate interviews now with Matty Healy that have been really likeable.
No, don't do this to me.
Not likeable, but like there's been a couple things where I watch it and I was like, oh, what's this going to be? Is he going to tongue the reporter or something? And then he actually was, one of them, he was speaking about Ticketmaster, and he's like, I hate what's happening with Ticketmaster. When I put a gig on, I want that show to be accessible to who I was as a kid, right? It should be £40 or £50, and then anyone can leave my show and they might feel inspired to start a band. That's not for rich kids. That's not for people.
Yeah.
So I was like,
that's fair.
It was a really good point he made. There was another one as well, but I've forgotten what it was.
I kind of always feel like that is fair. Not enough artists sort of speak up about it. But I always feel that there's a lot of talk about that sort of stuff, but no one does anything.
No, man.
No one does anything. And I think because the bottom line is everyone's getting their money, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's getting paid. So who cares who you're crushing financially to go and see your gigs? It doesn't really matter. But nothing happens.
I think it's I think the resale market. I did some research on this because I had an idea for something that would have solved it, and I was like trying to piece it together. But then I'm an idiot, so it didn't work. But I think the resale market, so the amount of money tickets make after they've already been sold, is a $15 billion industry.
Yeah.
So every year, $15 billion extra. Yeah, that isn't for the labels either. That's just its own separate industry. And there's such there'll be easy ways to cut that out that some people may go against. But anyway, so he spoke out about that. I thought that was cool. But then also I did because I'd watched 2 and I'd watched all of them. So it's like, he likes Matty Healy again because TikTok doesn't really know why you're watching the videos.
No.
I kept getting caught in videos because it like Matty Healy I'd watch and it'd be him like I almost definitely said something that I would have had to cut out there, but it'd be him like kissing a girl. And he's like, "Oh yes, you are 18 in a day." Right? And then because I'm like outraged, I'd be in the comments and the video would just be looping round. So TikTok's like, he's watched it 6 times. He's watched it 7 times. Matt Healy content.
It's the best and worst thing about TikTok because the algorithm is really good on TikTok. So it'll really quickly find out what videos you want to see. But it also means that because I do the same thing. If I see a video that pisses me off, I go straight to the comments. And like you say, that goddamn video on a loop. And then TikTok is like, oh, I guess you want more weird TikTok live streams where people are clicking a mouse to get to 1 million.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what my summary, I don't know what my conclusion is of Matty Healy. I still think he needs to rein it in a bit, but I guess
it's a good example of how sometimes you can not like people but then still agree with what they say.
Oh yeah, 100%, right? It's not it's not prescribed for, right? I'm not in a camp. It's like politics. It's like if I wear the blue tie, then everything is this. I don't know. Anyway, so that was Matt Healy. That's all I've really got there. I possibly there was a part of me that liked, but then the next clip it showed me because I was in the Matt Healy TikTok was him like doing a little bit on stage, and I was just like, oh, I just don't care for it at all. I think it's tricky because with a band like 1975, and then there are other examples I can throw out like Bastille, right? I feel like they always try and be more than just a band. So on their shows, they have these little bits and sections that they do. And to me, it always just comes across as like pretentious. Just play the music well and people will like it.
I mean, no one's ever liked Bono. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, it's true.
Yeah, and Bono was like Bono. I feel like he's like the grandfather of that sort of douche on stage.
But do you know what it is?
Character
is if I look at Coldplay, for example, if you watch a Coldplay show, it's bigger than just a band playing music. It's an actual like theatrical performance. It's amazing. It's something else. I think people try and capture
Chris Martin is not making out with like
no, and he wouldn't, right?
Girls.
Like he doesn't need to do that. He's because he's put on a good show, so he doesn't need to sell tickets because there's like 5,000 people that are like he might kiss me. No, right? So I get why that's the Bono comparison for sure. But then like Bastille, the example is I watched a show and like. There's this big spinning clock that he's on, and he's like and he'll walk on it and stand on it, and then there was a sofa, and he sits on the sofa, and I'm like, just play the songs, just play the songs well, and you'll be fine. Instead of having to do all of that, you know what I mean? It's just completely unnecessary. It will cost them hundreds of thousands to set up. I don't know. I just hate that extra bit. I don't think that's what makes good music. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying that.
But then Chris Martin and Coldplay,
I was going to say they put on a big show. Yeah, but they don't put on a show that takes anything away from the performance. They add to it. It's like a big spectacle. Whereas I think like what you're saying is that you go and see a lot of people like I don't know who's the person that came in on a big zip wire thing. Pink. I feel like I've not really seen that, but I feel like that's kind of on the edge of like unnecessary, but then it also adds to the show. It works.
Do you know what
fine,
though?
Whatever. But I know what you're saying. Sometimes it's like the performance is secondary. It's like,
but this is the point. Are your Pinks and your Rihannas and I guess your Beyonces and all of that? They just sing. They're not musicians. But then I've never seen Adele live, right? But no, every video I've ever watched, that's true.
It gives me goosebumps.
Here's the thing,
and she's not doing anything. She's just stood on stage singing.
No, she is.
But my point is that's all that is needed because her voice is just so extraordinary that you're just like, holy fuck.
Devil's advocate, there's only one Adele though.
There is only one Adele.
If Adele came in on a zip wire and started dancing around and was all huffing and puffing out of breath, you'd be like, what are you doing? Whereas she just holds the microphone and sings, but then I
imagine Adele, right? Here's Adele's routine, right? Mm-hmm. She is at the side of a stage, right? Just sat on a lounger.
Yeah, line of cocaine.
Drinking a cup of tea.
It always is. Yeah.
She's just literally she sat there drinking a cup of tea, right? The showrunner, the stage director is like, okay, Adele, you're on in like 30 seconds, and she's literally just like finishing the last drop of her tea.
What's the first song we're doing tonight? Yeah.
And then she just not stumbles out. She just.
Yeah, why are you doing a day?
It was vodka. It's a specialty.
She's out of mind.
It's an Irish tea. An Irish tea. But she walks out and then she blows everyone's mind, right? And then she just walks off stage and someone hands her a fresh cup of tea.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's really funny because when Adele first started coming around, I remember a band I was in, we played a private function. We had to cover an Adele song. I was like, ugh. Right, and I think it was when it was like...
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, God. But I hadn't... It's the same with Coldplay. I hadn't proper, just gone in and listened to it. And now I would probably argue Adele is, I would say, the best singer. The best singer in a long time. I struggle to think of anyone
obviously it's subjective. Because people will argue, Beyonce is up there as well and stuff like that. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm an Adele simp.
Yeah.
When it comes to,
one of the best,
just the best singers.
One of the best performances I've ever seen, right? And I've said before on here, one of the things I do as an artist is just listen to anything live. So whether it's like Mika or Kings of Leon, or
I feel like I've never seen a bad Adele performance.
Adele's phenomenal. If you watch her at Abbey Road doing When We Were Young,
right?
It's, I think, one of the best things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
One of the best things. Every time I watch it, I get goosebumps. It's phenomenal. So, yeah, I think she's the best. I would say she's the best singer at the moment and has been for, the last 10 years or something.
I don't think at the moment there are any male singers that are anywhere at that level.
Of it,
obviously in sort of pop culture.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there'll be fans of opera or theatre that'll be they'll throw out a ton of names of these amazing performers. But I just mean in the realm of pop culture and the music industry.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any male singers at the moment that are at that level. Like just in terms of the raw vocal talent.
I think we're fanboys because he's brilliant on social media and he's just a great personality.
Lewis Capaldi has got a set of chops on him.
He's got a set of chops on him,
hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I watched a video.
But I still don't know if it's quite comparable to Adele.
No, I don't think
that's
it
what
is.
I mean.
I think Adele is like that. We spoke about generational talents. That's what Adele is. It's like you've got your Adele. You can compare Adele to like Freddie Mercury.
But I think this is the best comparison, right? Do you know how like when you're at karaoke,
I do.
Right? People will come up, they'll pick a song, and sometimes you'll hear the person, and they'll be like, "Okay, now we've got Jenny, who's going to be singing Lewis Capaldi's whatever." All right, and you're like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." But then whenever you hear, "Okay, now we've got Barbara, who's going to come up and sing us some Rolling in the Deep," you're like, "Oh God."
I think.
Oh God.
You've unlocked it for me. This is why I didn't like Adele, and it's not just karaoke, but it was like everyone would cover Adele. They would play the song, and I'd be like, "God, this is dreadful."
I'm real sorry, you don't have that range.
But then that was the problem.
That's a tough song to pick.
I would listen to him like, "This isn't very good." Whereas, what actually, like, if you watch Adele do it, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely get what you're saying there. It's funny though. I think that's the reason why I kind of.
But then,
Adele.
if you're in a karaoke bar or whatever, and you hear the person say, "Okay, we've got Bob singing a Lewis Capaldi song," you're not that worried about it. You're not too worried about it. You're like, "Oh, this should be okay."
But then is that a range issue as well? Is that like where?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's range. It's the range.
Scale.
It's the range. Like, not a lot of people have the range to be able to like cover an Adele song.
I think to go back to Lewis Capaldi, he's the last week or so.
We've got to stop, dude. I feel like we're
putting it on the counter. We've done
all we talk about is Matty Healy, Adele, and Lewis Capaldi,
and Coldplay. We definitely speak about Coldplay, but his TikToks have gone one step further now.
I do still see his TikToks. They make me laugh. But what you
well, there was one. There's been two. There was one where he did like a POV. You've just what was it? You've just learned. Oh, POV. Your mates just learned what no cap means. And he's like calling around it. And he just did this whole little bit. And that was such a like TikTok creator video. And then the other one was, I think it was a news article, and I can't remember exactly what the context was, but it was like this news lady being like, "This couple say that there is one secret to keeping a long-lasting relationship," or something like that. And then it cuts to this party. He's like, "Pegging? Is it pegging?" He's nuts.
He's good.
No one can control him.
Yeah.
I would love to know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall of the record label's PR team behind Lewis Capaldi to know what they think. Because it's one of two ways, right? Either they open up TikTok and they're like, "Oh, Lewis, that's brilliant," or it's like paperwork everywhere. They've got legal on the phone.
Well, I don't know. I think.
Can he say pegging? Do you know what I mean? They're just going crazy.
They're Googling pegging.
Yeah. What is it? What does this mean? Is it like you're washing?
No, but I think. Do you think that's an issue though? Because I think nowadays, like producers and executives, are a lot more wiser as to what's going on now. Because like it has shifted. Like the whole social media sort of like PR relationship has shifted.
For sure.
Like how many accounts now? Like I think it's the reoccurring meme at the moment, that weird black cat thing that pops up, and it's always like my manager is telling me I need to be a bit more professional with the social media account, and it's the weird cat thing. I feel like that's a meme, but I feel like it's a meme that perfectly describes the sort of shift in upper management, right. HR, and all that sort of stuff now, where they're like, "Oh no, we understand now. We need to be." Like, we need to be appealable to Gen
viral.
Z. We need to be
Yeah.
So I think it's not a problem. I think they probably, like, if anything, they look at what Lewis Capaldi's doing and they go, "Oh God, we're so lucky. Lewis Capaldi is just a natural at social media."
I don't know.
Although there will always be at least one person that is sweating.
Whenever
he gets that notification to say Lewis Capaldi's just released a new TikTok, he's like, "Oh God."
It's the fact that he definitely has full access to his account. It doesn't go through anything. Like a lot of the times, that it goes through.
Yeah.
I think
a lot of the times he's drunk.
I don't. No, I
reckon
he's
had at least a couple of glasses of wine.
So. I think he's just a gem.
Yeah.
I reckon there's one person on that team who qualified. They got their degree like a year and a half ago, right? and they hate it because they're like, they thought they knew everything. They're like, I know everything about social media, how to go viral. I know all of the tricks. And then they watch Lewis Capaldi just react like, and he's always filming like there's absolutely no angle, no lighting, and he's crushing it. And I bet she hates it because she's like, I studied for 5 years, I got my degree.
I always find the people that study that sort of stuff never.
No, yeah, they have this really like black and white cut and paste view on it, and then you're like, this doesn't work.
And you can tell that they've learned it from an exercise book or whatever. But then also, I feel like most of those people end up in the sort of management jobs rather than the people that are actually making social media.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. It's the corporate side.
Yeah.
Whenever you get into corporate marketing, a lot of those people will be like way off the mark.
Well, because that's the only place where your social media qualifications and stuff will come in handy, is when you're applying for like corporate, like back office positions, because they're of the same cloth. They're like numbers and letters, so they're like, okay, we need these qualifications. You know what I mean? Like you say, Lewis Capaldi, no one's ever taught Lewis Capaldi how to do social media. He's probably just been on social media most of his life, and he just knows. That's why like Zoomers just know how to do stuff. I mean, most of the Gen Z, and I'm air quotations in Gen Z, right? I just said Gen Z. I hate that.
I know. I hate all of that.
Gen Z.
Yeah, you're right there, but I just hate all of.
I hate all of the labels. But what I mean is that like the young audience or whatever, whenever like some of the stuff I see on TikTok now, like if it's not like my like For You page or whatever, do you know like sometimes when TikTok resets?
Sure, or if I'm on like the TikTok, that
exactly.
Doesn't have much.
Exactly, right. And I'm just sat there watching it, and I feel like an alien. I'm like, I don't understand what I'm looking at, and I feel like I've been on the internet in some sort of respect, not like doing podcasts or whatever, but just as a person on the internet, as a consumer. I've been on the internet my whole life, but the amount of times I'm looking at a meme now, and I'm like, okay, I might as well be Chinese. Like I don't know,
especially when it's a Chinese meme.
Oh, then I might as well be Japanese.
Oh, okay. I see. That's stupid. Do you think Lewis Capaldi could walk into like a social media corporate job? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. If
Johnson
it all goes tits
Johnson
up,
needs a marketing
I don't know about
executive.
Johnson & Johnson.
Okay, let's pick a different
I don't know if a pharmaceutical company is going to be on board with
Bridgestone.
that sort of social media. Why Bridgestone?
I don't know. I tried to think of two companies, and all I could think of was Johnson & Johnson and Bridgestone.
Okay, cool. We'll go with Bridgestone.
Well, no, let's do a company that I can actually we want to shout out. That, do you know what I mean?
There's not a lot of companies that I want to actively shout out.
Yeah, because all of the stuff that I really like are still made by people that like kill kids and stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. And then you look into it, and it's all like it all goes back to like BlackRock or Vanguard or whatever.
Right. Okay. So there's an opening at Rockstar Games.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, we're in. I was like, what can we both love? Right. Or Charlton Athletic have an opening. Lewis Capaldi, the music's all gone wrong. Could he get a social media job, do you reckon?
Well, I think getting the social media job for a football club at the moment is the easiest thing ever, because you just do the Jeezy Peeps meme.
Yeah, that's true. And it's always so easy as well, because first it was the I almost said Margaret Thatcher, not Margaret, the Theresa May header.
Yeah.
And I think Charlton were one of the early ones for that, because then I saw other videos and everyone was like, oh, Charlton did this first. I was like, yes, gets in there, boys. It's a really weird thing to feel proud of.
Sometimes I'll be watching the highlights for football, and I'll see a player just absolutely,
and you're like,
and I'm like, I say it in my head. I'm like, oh, Jeezy Peeps, man. But then I'm like, I'm just waiting for TikTok to show me that clip.
You'll see it,
and I'm like, yes, there it is.
That's funny. What was I about to say?
I don't know,
Do
mate.
you know? Can you say?
Boris Johnson.
Lots of farm simulators. I just watched
I don't want to
Clarkson's
talk about
Farm.
yeah, okay.
It's so good. I was worried about Clarkson's Farm not being as good as the first season, because I was like, it felt like they kind of...
I just feel like...
They told the stories.
No. I feel like that's the good thing about that type of show, is it's always going to be kind of slightly different, because it's... I mean, as much as some people will criticise it, even farmers are on board with what he's doing. But I mean, it's essentially, it's a real farm. So, and, you know... It does such a good job of showing people the struggles that British farmers are going through.
Yeah.
Especially now they're not getting backed by government and all that sort of stuff.
It's
just entertaining. I've not finished it. Okay. I'm like halfway through it.
Finish it for sure. Because the way they've put a new narrative on in terms of like the overarching thing they're trying to achieve is really, really good. But what you're saying there about the government subsidies have dried up for farmers, they're stopping those, so they're having to find ways of replacing it. That's what this season is about. And you're right, like it's from my side, I'm so much more like mindful and aware of that now because of that show, and I think that's what farmers will take away from it.
Well, I've seen various different farmers on YouTube that have come out and have been like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like there's a certain amount of the show that is like sort of tailored for entertainment purposes, but at the same time, I've never seen a farmer come out and speak against what he's doing.
Yeah,
because all he's doing is just shining a light on the farm industry and sort of growing support really for British farmers. And also I feel like making people aware, because I've always, my entire life since I was young, I've always been told to look for the little tractor on everything I buy, on all my produce that I buy. Yeah. Look for the little tractor, the little red tractor, because that means it's come from the British farm and you're supporting the British farm industry. And I feel like this show is just sort of like increasing that sort of awareness that we need to support the British farm industry and buy British produce wherever we can.
Yeah,
because what we can't do is rely on European produce like moving forward. With that, that's a dangerous sort of thing to start happening.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you need your own sort of food network, and British farms are important. And it is like, it's sad that British farms seem to not. I always it kind of feels like British farmers don't really make a lot of money.
No, well, I think on the show there was one part. This isn't a spoiler; it's literally just a conversation. But he's speaking to a group of farmers, and one of them literally is like, they're currently running like at just zero. They've got no profit, and she's like, "That's." And then I think someone says about like, "Oh, so by the time you've taken your wage," and she's like, "I don't get paid a wage. Like I'm working at zero." She's just keeping the farm afloat. So yeah, they're really struggling. All of the legislation that puts in there seems really backwards. It seems to just be making it harder and harder.
And I feel like as well, right, is like, I don't care what side of the camp you are in terms of Brexit, right, leave or remain. One of the things that was supposed to happen, right, was that once we leave, all of these regulations that the European Union sort of imply on small businesses, and I think that's because a lot of people will say a lot of this doesn't affect stuff, but it directly affects the small businesses, from my understanding, which is the farm industry. Because you think of the farm industry as this huge business. Well, it's not. It's a collection of small businesses. And one of the things that was supposed to happen was when Brexit got sort of enacted and we left, all of those sort of regulations that were hindering the farm industry were supposed to sort of be eradicated. And it doesn't seem like anything. No, if anything, it's worse.
Yeah.
Because of Brexit.
What? As musicians, for example, it's now a nightmare, right? Like if you get a gig and someone wants you to go play in the Netherlands or wherever it might be, it's such a harder thing to do now. So yeah, it definitely is harder. Shall we listen to some music?
Yeah.
I've got my finest £5. I'm going to talk about the headphones, not earphones. The headphones.
You got some. Well, because we normally use, and this isn't like a sponsor. These are just headphones that we already had.
Yeah.
Right, because they're good headphones. Sennheisers. I've got the 450s. I think you got the 420s.
No, 440s.
440s.
The 450s are noise cancelling.
I got the 450s.
Just
440s.
Noise suppression.
Right? Great headphones. Perfect. Highly recommend them.
Yeah.
Especially now, you can probably get those for like probably 100 quid.
I think
maybe less.
I think less. You can probably pick up the 440s for about 70 quid.
Here's great headphones.
Yeah.
We've been using them.
Yeah.
Just because we already had them, right, as just our headphones that we use to listen to music and all that sort of stuff. Fantastic. They've been working great for the podcast.
Yeah.
However,
I've forgotten.
You've forgotten.
I forgot them last week. So on my way, I was like, what are we going to do? We have to listen to music. I didn't want to play out loud. So I just stopped at the nearest grocery store, went to the tech section, and I bought a pair of, I think, £10. £10 headphones.
Bargain. Absolute bargain.
Now, here's what I say about them, right? These are obviously the ones here. You can have a look. So what they've done is they're a Beats ripoff, right? They're ripping off Dre beats. So they're cheap. They sound shit, which...
You're describing beats.
Yeah, and they've tried to
apart
mimic
from the
that.
cheap. Apart from the cheap.
Well, and this is the point, though. So, right, if you have a pair of beats, you're an idiot. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we're going to upset you.
Yeah.
Like, we may upset you, and I can back this all up. So, basically, Beats are... the guy that designed and made Beats also went on to create a separate headphone called Roam. And the idea of Roam, he was like, they're like £5, £10, £15 headphones. And the point of it was like, this is how cheap Beats are made. So there was a lot of controversies happen with Beats. First, when they had just got to the top of the market share and everyone wanted Beats, someone came out and was like, let's look inside Beats. They're light, they're cheap weight, they're plastic. They are like the worst headphones you can get for over like £20. And then Beats countered that, and then they released a new set of headphones that were like, okay, we've done these even better. Like, they're made better, they're stronger. And then the same guy pulled them apart. They had literally put weights in the headphones, so they felt more expensive. Beats are terrible. They are just great at branding, right? So if this had a B on them, right, if they had the little stupid logo, people would look, okay, right, the wire on here is cheap. So let's say these are wireless. People would look at these and be like, oh, cool, he's got good headphones, right? But they're the worst you can get. So for me, there are better alternatives. Really, the two popular ones would be Bose, but Bose are like the Beats of good headphones. Yeah. So they're really expensive because they're like, they've branded themselves as like the top one.
They're like the best thing of Beats, which is obviously the branding, but then they also are good quality.
Yeah.
But it means that they are still overpriced.
100%.
But at least they're good.
And yeah, I think if someone has both, then cool. It's like, okay, you got money, good for you. You got good headphones. Sennheiser as well are like, they're a cheaper alternative, but very high fidelity, very, very good quality. So if you want good,
I'll say as well,
sound,
I've had these bad boys for what, like 6 years now? I think 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah,
maybe even 7.
2018,
Jesus Christ,
I think is when I got them.
I don't know. I feel like I got them before that, maybe, but I don't know. 5. I've had them for a long time, and I've treated them like absolute dirt, thrown them in the bottom of my bag and all sorts of stuff. They're just great. They just keep going.
I will say I replaced the pad on mine, but
I don't want to take them off because it is gross. But I do need to replace the pads.
Yeah, I replaced the pads on mine, but that was because Max, my son, who's like 1.5, just tore them to pieces basically, because he loves headphones and putting I mean, you know that because you're usually on the end of them when he does it. But yeah, so it's not a sponsor, but what I will say is that especially if you make music and you use Beats, put yourself in the bin, basically.
Yeah, also it will give you a complete false perspective of what your music sounds like as well.
Well, and this is one of the things they did.
That's why you won't see any producers wearing Beats.
No, not at all. not good. Like people that care about sound quality won't. Beats actually brought out a headphone when I was in music college called the Master headphones. So they were for mastering music, and I remember a kid.
Yeah, like peel the Beat sticker off and it says Sennheiser.
No, they were Beats. So, and that was the problem. They were still just Beats, but they were like, oh, these are, there's less, because they EQ the headphones a lot. So what the good sound is that people like is just basic.
Yeah.
So they put the lower end up, but it means that you get a really muddy sound. The Master ones, they were like, oh, well, it didn't have that bass kick. It still did have a significant bass kick. But I remember someone walked into like one of our classes at music college with these, and the teacher of the class was like, you're an idiot. Like, you are a dumb idiot for getting those because they're not going to work. You can't master your music on something that's completely EQing it for you. Yeah. So there we go. Anyway, yeah, so these headphones that I'm using now sound like crap. They're uncomfortable and cheap. So what's the moral of the story here? don't buy Beats, I guess. Don't buy Beats, but then also don't buy a £10 set of headphones and expect them to be good. But if you are going to buy Beats, just buy these. Just buy these and paint a B on them. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll put a B on the side of them. Or you could just start bringing your Sennheisers in again. Yeah, that's true. I probably will do that. Should we listen to some music? Yeah, let's do it, mate. A little 10-minute section about how Beats are terrible. How many people do you think we just upset?
it's hard to judge because are they still cool to get Beats?
Yeah. Well, or is it AirPods now?
Well, that's what I mean. I don't know.
Which are the same problem.
Because I know when I still worked, when I still
terrible.
worked in retail in an establishment that sold headphones, Beats were still like the cool thing. It was like having an argument with customers about sound quality, like every day. You'd be like, I want a good set of headphones. What Beats should I get? And I'm like, well, you've said you wanted a good set of headphones, so what do you want? Because I can talk you through all the different brands we've got and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, I would even recommend Skull Candy over Beats. And Skull Candy is still the same sort of cut from the same cloth. They're still
cheap earphones.
You're still paying for the Skull Candy brand rather than good set of headphones. But I'm still like, I'll okay it. It's better than Beats.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. Back when I worked there, like Beats they were huge. But then I don't know if are they still as big as they are?
I think they are.
People still falling for the Beats, like illusion.
I think they definitely are. I think AirPods are the new Beats now. So I think people will get AirPods and spend, 200 quid or 150,
which is also dumb, right? It's also big dumb.
Yeah, to get worse sound quality.
Yeah.
It's the same. To be fair, it's the same with computers though. Like if you buy a laptop and you want to do more than video editing or sound recording, like don't get a MacBook Pro. But what used to happen, and this has happened since with the laptop stuff as well, but again, going back to working in a shop that sold headphones, and people would come up to me and be like, I'm thinking of buying my son or daughter headphones, right? And they'd be like, yeah, I think I'm possibly going to get some Beats. And I'd be like, okay, cool. Do you want me to, like, are you open to anything else? Like, would you be open to a better thing? Like, I could save you money here. I'm not going to try and upsell you. Would you be open to a better model that isn't Beats? And they all go, yeah, like, I'm happy. Like, definitely, if you can help me out. So I'd spend 10 minutes with them being like, here's these ones. If you do want bass, here are these ones, right? But all of them are like £150 less than Beats, right? And they go, yeah, okay, I'll just think about it. And then they'll come and be like, the Beats, please. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that was a waste of time. So yeah, brand is important for sure. Like you can't argue it.
It is what it is, I think to some people that's all that matters, isn't it? It's the brand.
Yeah, chuck a label on it.
Same with clothes.
You could buy a sticker. You could buy a Beats sticker and just put it on your Sennheiser.
It's the same with the fashion. Like, have you ever seen those videos where it's like a bunch of kids meet up, right? And I've seen this. Oh God, yeah, it's a series on YouTube, but a bunch of kids will meet up. It's normally in America, but I've seen it in the UK as well. And they all one by one step up to the camera, and then just from sort of like head to toe, they go through how much everything costs.
Yeah.
So they're like, Dolce & Gabbana hat, £600. This chain, £800.
They also don't sound like that.
It's like
I don't know why you're doing the posh voice,
Nike,
but they're not even. It won't be posh voice,
whatever.
Will it?
But with this Nike hoodie, £1,000, and it's like, and they'll get to the point where they're like, these boxer shorts I'm wearing, £500, and I'm like, you're an idiot. You're the biggest idiot on the planet. And it's like, it's not even like good. Like, most of it looks so crap. But then also it's like they're just pointing at this like blank t-shirt that doesn't even have any branding on it. Like, it doesn't even have any branding on it. Yeah. And it's like, £800 for this. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you could literally walk into Primark, which is, for anyone outside of the UK, just a kind of budget clothing store. Really, really popular over here. Whatever.
What's the equivalent of?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like a Walmart or a Target.
Probably.
Target maybe, I know, has clothes.
Yeah, it's probably the same sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, George. George.
Yeah.
In Asda's, because Asda's owned by Target.
That's a brand, not a person.
Yeah, but Asda's owned by Target.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So they have the same. So it's probably similar to George. Well, whatever clothes you have in Target.
That's insane. What an insane.
I don't know why I know that, but I think Asda is owned by Target. They're the same.
Walmart.
One of them.
I think it's Walmart.
Man, this is wild.
I know. What is happening?
I don't know. We're all over the place.
What is happening?
But yeah, those clothing sort of YouTube things are ridiculous, and the people are the most ridiculous people on the planet. But also, I'm like, if I was like a criminal, right, I would just be like watching those videos all the time, right, to find out where the next meetup is.
Yeah.
And then just start robbing people's clothes.
Yeah, literally take the shirt off your
You like
back.
walk up to someone with a knife, and they're like, they start getting their wallet and their purses out or whatever, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, you keep those.
Strip.
Here's the thing, you keep those because they're empty. Let's be honest, you don't have any money on you.
Yeah.
That card means nothing.
You're just walking away with a bag of hoodies.
Here's the thing as well, right? If you're actually rich, you don't care about any of that. You don't care about that. You don't.
Well, I don't know. I think there are some rich people that like they have to look rich.
Maybe. No, but I'm on about if you have over £100 million in your bank, you don't actually care about the labels. You may buy nicer. Your t-shirt may cost you $100 because it's a little bit tailored and whatnot, but you don't care about like a Versace whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't need the top line to be like named. For example, what you just said with the blank. It's like I'm sure Rob McElhenney, for example, right? Actor, owner of Wrexham FC and a bunch of other brands. I'm sure he wears nice clothes, but he's not wearing Louis Vuitton and all of that crap, right? Because he doesn't need to tell you he's rich. He just looks good because he's like, yeah, look, t-shirt. I've started buying clothes off of Amazon.
I buy jeans off of Amazon. I wouldn't recommend buying jeans off Amazon though, because they're normally.
It's a turn.
It's not normally like it's not like a snobby thing. It's these jeans instantly fall apart.
Oh sure.
Sort of thing.
Bit of a Primark jeans situation.
Primark jeans are where they're at.
Primark jeans are one use. You do the button after the first day and it just pings off. Like,
maybe that's an us problem.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I don't know if everyone has that problem.
No, I've bought jackets from Amazon before, and also like.
Hey, do you know what's funny? Is what we were just talking about, right? I could win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
Like Tuesday. Tuesday's a Euro Millions. Get your tickets, everyone. As in, actually don't. That's gambling. Don't gamble.
It's lottery gambling?
It's gambling. Yeah, that's gambling.
Oh, then I have a gambling addiction.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the lottery's that's why the lottery adverts, they say gamble responsibly on it, and they always have the helpline on screen.
Do they?
Yeah. They have always yeah. They always have a helpline.
£2.
Yeah, but no, it's because but you think of all the scratch cards and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Have you never ever been into the shop and you've got to go to the kiosk with something, and there's always a little old lady there that is like, I'll have 5 number 5s, 6 number 1s, and 2 number 8s, and you're looking at it and they're like, she's just spent £120 on scratch cards.
Yeah.
And it's like that's I think those are the people that have like the real problems.
Yeah.
I think me and you just doing the Euro Millions every week, just on the off chance, is fine.
What if I buy 10 tickets a week?
Then you got a gambling. But my point is I could win the Euro Millions right on Tuesday, 124 million or whatever.
Nah, it's low
right? Do you know what? I will dress like after that?
I reckon newer.
I'll be dressed exactly like this. I will wear the exact same, like, weird hoodies and like t-shirts that are just like video game t-shirts from like my childhood or whatever.
Yeah,
like I will dress the exact same.
This is what I did though last year, not win the lottery.
Apart from suits, I'd probably buy a few nice suits.
Would you? Why?
I don't know why.
You've won loads
it's
of money.
The only thing that I kind of like is dressing up in a nice suit.
I do love dressing up in a suit. I'm with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is about 30 minutes ago. We said, "Shall we listen to some music?"
Yeah, it was 20. It was literally 25. I know you're exaggerating with 30, but I think it was 25 minutes ago. What's happened? Or because this has been nonsense.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely
nonsense.
Wild. Absolute nonsense.
Like I don't even know what's happening anymore.
I don't know.
Let's listen to music. Let's put it back on the rails.
Yeah. Let's go.
The first artist we're listening to is Cooked Sushi.
Ooh.
They are.
You're not supposed to cook sushi, are you?
Well, maybe that's why they went for it. We're going to listen to Cook Sushi. They're from Philadelphia. I think the suburbs of Philadelphia, which I'm wearing my Flyers hoodie. Take that, Caleb Hart Eyes.
How they doing?
Because he commented on your jersey.
Yeah, he said nice jersey because he's I don't know if he supports it, but he appreciates a good hockey team.
Well, he's from New York. How are the Flyers doing? They just won a game.
Oh my god!
Yeah, don't want to brag, but they just beat the Buffalo Sabres. Right. So we're listening to Cook Sushi. You got a idea of sound?
I don't even know. Out of Philadelphia.
I'm gonna
go rap.
Do you want to see them?
Ooh.
I could show them actually, and it's not really a spoiler if I pull them up. There's Cooked
Sushi.
Sushi.
I might take back rap.
Yeah, not many rap artists.
I'm getting an earthy vibe.
Yeah, I was gonna say not many rap artists take pictures in fields. But
I'm gonna go. It's more kind of folk pop.
Really, I will guess
kind of a
Sushi.
Happy vibe to it.
I reckon it's gonna be like electronic, but not like ravey electronic. Do you know what I mean? But like I was gonna say Two Door Cinema Club. That's not who I mean. Who is the other one? I don't know. Let's listen. We're listening from 102. So I need to do that and hit that. 102 is Cook Sushi. This is Fast by Cook Sushi.
Please don't get attached. It'll make it hurt. I've been moving fast. Don't get stuck in my tracks. Please don't get attached. It'll make it hurt. I've been moving fast. Don't get stuck in my tracks. Verse is reserved for the worst. I know that it hurts. I know that it hurts.
Oh,
I like it a lot.
really good.
I like it a lot.
What genre?
It's good. I don't know. It kind of. I don't know if this is correct, but it kind of felt like it could be on like the OC.
Oh, I don't
Like
hear
that
that.
transition scene.
Maybe. Oh, it was
the
great.
big
Like it's
California.
such a good sound. I have no idea what genre.
I don't know. It's
placed
kind of just
that
kind of
as.
chill, like. I guess you wouldn't really call it electronic though, would you? Like.
No,
I don't know.
think is it just alternate?
Yeah.
A little. I don't know, because I'm like there was a little bit of like a hip hoppy feel to it.
Yeah.
In the backing track, but it wasn't hip hop, which is great. I mean, if people can't place what your genre is through listening to it, that can mean one of two things.
It's either very bad,
really bad, right? Like nonsense bad,
or it's very good.
Like that, you've actually, it feels like you found a sound.
Yeah,
of
no,
it.
that was good. No production really notes. I think everything fit. There was nothing that stood out. I think there was kind of like a drop.
Yeah.
That I was expecting.
Which happened,
but it wasn't as big as I thought. But then I was like, I was cool with it.
I really like it. I really, really like it. So if you want to listen to more of Cook Sushi, if you go to Cook Sushi Music on Instagram, they have a link tree there. Cook Sushi Music is their link tree, and it will obviously be on our playlist as well. So just go to the link in the description below and listen to that. Oh wait, what? Oh, don't add. I'm messing it up. But yeah, I'll chuck that on the playlist as well. It sounds great. It sounds really, really good. I'm very excited to listen to it. I think it maybe Imagine Dragons-y a little bit, but then they're a lot like the dynamic side. I think they're higher on the dynamic side, where this is very, very chilled, laid back. So what a great sound! Obviously, great sound from Philly. That's what you're gonna get. People in Philly,
just not great hockey teams.
Just really, really bad hockey teams. Okay, next up is I think Avaraj is what I'm gonna say. Avaraj is the next artist. Any guesses?
Where from?
They are from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I think we've had a couple Atlanta, Georgias before. My gut always goes hip hop for Atlanta, Georgia. I think it's a very like urban metropolis.
Kind of grimy.
Yeah, possibly. I think it's going to be rap. But I'll do the same again. If I cut to their Instagram, this throws me off.
Yeah, but it could be anything though.
This makes me not sure. Oh, see, it could be country, but then am I just saying that because they're on like a woods and what looks like a golf course?
I'm booking it in country.
You're booking in country.
Yeah, I was taking this off the table.
I'm okay, and I'm going to stay with urban.
Mm-hmm.
Like
urban country.
Urban hip hop. Oh, country hip hop. Oh, come on. Is that is it a Ford 150 or whatever it is?
I don't know. Just get on with it, dude.
It's got a pickup truck. Right, and this is 32 seconds in.
So hard, but distance rips us apart. Can't comfort you from afar, but I still want your heart. You mean everything to me. When you're away, it's hard to breathe. Miles apart, but I still see your perfect future is with me.
like it.
It's great. It sounds great. I made myself laugh a little bit there because I was on the Instagram of the artist and I was going through her wedding pictures. I think they've just got married.
Congratulations.
She's just got married, I think.
They might just be stock photos. That.
Yeah. And they posted going, a few of my faves, as in like, these are good photos.
A few of my favourite stock photos.
Maybe the artist took the photos, but I'm assuming not. But it's really funny because it was like quite a romantic song, and I was flicking through it, and I was like, I'm literally like making a TikTok right now, basically, where it's just going through the slideshow. Really interesting. Again, it's quite an interesting, unique sound.
Yeah.
That I would struggle to put a genre on. The Instagram, when I look at the Instagram, it really feels like it should have been one of our guesses, should have been right, and it kind of, I don't know, it was its own thing. Sounded really good. I've got nothing. Again, sometimes you have constructive feedback, other times I don't. The social media is really good as well. I'll shout that out. That really active, really varied. I'm so bad at social media that when I see good social media, I'm like, yeah, good for you. But that is Avaraj.
Is it average?
I did think it could be.
They're like covering all bases.
Avaraj.
But we did warn you. It's average.
The AJ. Do you know what I mean? It's great though. It's a great submission. I love it. That's back on the playlist as well. Thank you for your submission from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm quite interested. This is an artist that I'd love to hear some other tracks of. Not that all of the artists aren't that.
It's rare that I don't want to listen to more of the catalogue.
But sometimes I have to. Like, it happened last week as well. There was an artist last week. If you haven't watched last week's episode, please do.
Blew our socks off.
Seems like no one did listen to it, but it had just an incredible submission. This is another one that I'll check out just for genre placement as well. I'll be really interested to hear what the rest of the songs sound like. Shall we spin the wheel?
What wheel? What is the wheel?
Well, I'm just going to quickly say, usually we would have an engagement artist here. So we would have someone who is engaged with the podcast, has commented, liked, whatever, shared it. Last week's episode, for some reason, just absolutely tanked. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what we spoke about. Let us know if you hated last week's episode. That'd be really helpful.
It got to like 200 views on Tuesday. And then
none.
Shit the bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube obviously just went, nah, that's enough.
Really, really odd. But if you do engage, so if you drop a comment below, let us know what you think of the episode. If you have any questions, ask those. If you share the podcast, then we will love you forever. But also, we will play your music next week. So there is a slot open for someone to comment below, and we'll play your music. But for now, we will rely on the Wheel of Fortunes. Can you feel my energy low when I do that? I think I'm done with it now. We might need to change the name. Rebrand.
Oh, we might need to just make a jingle.
Divine Coldwee. Divine Coldwee. He cuts to Ben. Oh, you almost grabbed the wrong thing there.
I've bought an album.
You've got your album.
Today.
You've got your homework.
It's Kings of Leon, Hashtag Heartbreak. One of my all-time favourite albums. Kings of Leon, I think at its best, you know. I mean, I'll throw it out there. You know, Youth and Young Manhood is obviously amazing. It's the gateway to Kings of Leon. And then you got Because of the Times, which is, I think, where most people started stumbling across Kings of Leon. But for me, I think this one is my favourite album. I like the vinyl. You open it up. It's quite a thick vinyl. You got a little weird picture of all of the like young Kings of Leon. Look at how odd and weird they all look. You know, that is what was considered cool in 2002, 3. Great album. Check it out. If you've not listened to Kings of Leon before, you know, well, I mean, everyone's heard Sex on Fire, Knew Somebody and all that stuff, but definitely check out their earlier stuff. It's fantastic.
Would you say that was your... Well, I was about to say something stupid. Is that not it? That's their first album, isn't it?
No, Youth and Young Manhood is the first album.
With the... Yeah.
Yeah. And I got into Kings of Leon sort of immediately in the first album because Kings of Leon are a weird one because obviously an American band, but they really, really weren't known at all anywhere outside of the UK early on. So the UK was like the first sort of country that sort of really took hold of them. But Which is weird how that happens, isn't it? It's like it's rare, or like it happens a lot that you sort of pick up an audience outside of your home country first.
I don't know. You just said both things there, but I don't know which one's right.
What do you mean?
Like, what's more common there is surely more common. It's weird. It's more common for bands to just be known in their country, right? But every now and again, you get a band that goes somewhere and then they blow up. Well,
I just feel like a lot of British bands, they gain audiences in Europe first. Like Europe is where they sort of, I don't know, we're in Europe, but I mean like other European countries and stuff, like Netherlands and stuff like that.
Can I update you on something on my end right now while I'm trying to do the work?
What's that?
I don't know if we've spun this wheel before and landed on these people before. It's entirely possible, right? Why is it entirely possible? Because
they're on the playlist.
We've tried to do this before, spun it, and they sent a link sharing.samsung cloud link.
Oh.
Which means
we can't play them.
We can't play them because their link doesn't work. So it's time for the Wheel of Fortune. Send a goddamn working link that doesn't have an expiry date on if you want to be played. Mupream. What album have you got for us today, Ben?
So a little more about #HateBreak. It's actually 2004 that this came out. Just the golden era of indie music. It's got some of the best songs like King of the Rodeo, Tape
This
It
is
Together,
so awkward.
Milk. I love Milk. Pistol of Fire, 4 Kicks. I don't know what else to talk about. The Kings of Leon, the band. They're all a family. They're all brothers / cousins. You've got Caleb Follower Hill and Nathan Follower Hill. They're brothers. Oh, and along with I can't remember which one is Jared. One of these fellas is called Jared. He's a cousin. He's the bassist. Much like us, a lot of them. They started playing instruments pretty much to get into the band, so they didn't really play instruments.
Well, much
beforehand.
like you.
Well, that's what I meant. Much like me.
Yeah.
That's it. Highly religious family. They're
God, this is terrible.
Well, I'm
Big
stalling.
Fan. No,
I
it's
don't
a
know
great
what else
album,
to
though. I
talk
do
about.
agree.
I'm stalling.
I think when we talk about inspirations, I think that album is right up there because not only is it Kings of Leon, who our band are heavily influenced by, but it's the sound. Like, that is the sound that we, I think, gravitated towards. Now, Mupream. M-U-P-R-E-A-M. Mupream.
Mupream.
What do you think? What's your guess for genre?
Do we know where they're from?
We do. Baltimore.
Baltimore. We've had a few bands out of Baltimore.
Yeah, we have, actually.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, here's something fun about Mupream. They've sent a Linktree link. Which I can show here. So we're on the Linktree. I make music and shit. Probably accurate. I imagine he makes both. But they've not really said what song. But they have said that they wanted it like 20 seconds in to whatever song. So I'm going to do 20 seconds in and I'm going to assume it's the SoundCloud link, which is at the top. And I'm just going to play the latest track, Awaken.
Okay.
Is what I'm going to do. But Mupream, genre guess?
Mupream.
I thought it'd be metal.
I was going to say, it sounds like a metal name.
But then, why is the Linktree not black if it's metal?
It's not necessarily. It's not metal.
That's right. Okay, they said 20 seconds. I am just going to skip it. There we go.
Hey, yo, hold up. It's been a motherfucking minute. Flexing on them niggas, pop high with the spinach. Why you leaving all of y'all business unfinished? They ain't never seen a nigga spitting this quick with it. Shit, I'm with it. Hey, yo, shit, I'm really with it. I hit you with a bat. I ain't talking about the Quidditch. I swear they never listened when I told them about the mission. Now they in prison. Niggas never did listen, bro. I'm going for the throne. Pit full of bones. Molotov cocktails, politicians' homes.
I don't know what pop with a spinach meant.
I don't know.
That's
I liked it.
That's what I got on. The sounds really
good. I liked popping people with spinach.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It said pop with a spinach.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I know he was playing Quidditch at some point as well.
Yeah, he did say he'll beat us with a bat.
Yeah.
Not Quidditch.
He's also Molotoving politicians' homes.
Yeah.
Not quite sure about that.
No, not a badger. What are the people? Bloffle? No. What? On Quidditch, what are the people that hit the you got the quaffle?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know Quidditch inside and out. Like, I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I'm not like a Harry Potter
You're like,
fan.
I would know Quidditch if Hogwarts Legacy let me play.
It doesn't have Quidditch.
Anyway, this is about Mupream. Yeah, it's really good sound, really clean in terms of the music. But we've always said we're not. It's not a area of music that I know really well. I just know that it sounds good.
Yeah, no,
sometimes I listen to hip hop and rap, and it doesn't sound good. That sounded good.
Yeah,
I like the kind of like the retro vibe, where it sounds like it's on a vinyl.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. And I like. I think it's very smart to have like weird, quirky lyrics in raps and stuff because you think about it. you come out of it afterwards and you're like, what was he talking about? Spinach?
I think this is the two types though, isn't it, as well? There's two types of rap and hip hop, and that's the difference. Are they driven by words and lyrics? And that I think will be the camp I fall into, is that if you can have really meaningful lyrics, then I will probably like it. Whereas if there's a lot of rap where it's like almost difficult to hear.
Oh, it's just word salad.
Yeah, and that's when I struggle with. I'm just quickly I've just used the Spotify link in your link tree, and it feels like it doesn't work. I might be wrong. I might be. But it felt like that didn't work. What did we just listen to? The song name was...
Awaken.
So I'm popping Awaken on the playlist. So definitely do check it out. But yeah, thank you so much for the submission. Sounds really, really good. They have 492 monthly listeners on Spotify.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty impressive. So that is awesome. I think that's it for the submissions.
Sweet.
I say, I guess everyone is a submission.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that, again, solid. I feel like we've hit a section of submissions now that is a lot of hip hop.
I'm for it.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like the last few weeks we've had a couple hip hop artists.
I'm for it. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, that hip hop song we listened to last week, blew our little socks off.
That is true. I listened. I'm not going to lie.
It made me really happy.
I'm not going to lie. And I did message or maybe reply to a comment saying that driving back home after doing the podcast, I was straight away on there, Spotify. All of the songs are that good as well.
Really?
All of the songs
because I actually
are that
haven't
good.
listened to any other material.
I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, no, I'd listened and they all were really, really, great. We're very lucky with the people that submit on this.
Yeah. I generally can't think of a submission that has been really bad.
No.
I think there's been a couple that we've had sort of production notes on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the time it's like, they're like, oh, well, that's like a first draft of a song. And we're like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's an early stage thing.
Yeah.
That I think you can, and I think that's the thing. There's been a couple where you can tell that it's like, okay, they're starting out, but they still have a good sound. They've got a good foundation to build on. 100%. I don't know. I mean, do you know what I wanted to speak about? So on the last episode, which I'm scared to talk about because it did so badly that I don't want to bring anything up that we mentioned, just in case that was why YouTube was like, nah. I'm blaming YouTube. It may have just been a bad episode. But if last week's was a bad episode, I don't know what this is. This is going to get no views. It's absolute nonsense. We were obviously speaking about the all-female lineups.
Yeah.
And we were messaging, as we do.
Yeah, because I forgot to mention that it was kind of spearheaded by one major female artist with the whole boycott thing.
Which is who?
I can't remember her name now. It was
Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no. So this is the conversation. For context, we were messaging, and I was talking about doing the thumbnail, and I was like, what artist is it that I could use here that would be relevant? And you said straight away, Lana Del Rey has been speaking about the issues with Glastonbury. I'm going to say this now, and I'm really sorry because there may be Lana Del Rey fans listening. Maybe Lana's listening herself. Lana Del Rey is a moron.
Yeah.
She's an idiot.
Yeah, 100%.
Because her point, I read the article and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I wish I had read this before last week's episode. She came out and her issue wasn't about it wasn't about that all of the headliners were men. Her problem was she's headlining the second stage and was annoyed that there are artists above her that aren't headlining. So she's like, I'm headlining, so I should be top. I'm headlining the second stage, right? Here's how every festival in the world works, right? Headliners, as in the people that are playing main stage, at the top. The rest of the main stage artists, right, beneath, then the other stages.
Yeah.
Sorted by the order they're playing in reverse. So the headliners. So the fact she came out and she was like being like, oh yeah, well what's really a joke is the fact that I'm headlining the second stage and other artists are above me. They're playing main stage. So here's your option, Lana. You got two options which you would have had, right? You're not Arctic Monkeys. You're not Elton John. You're Lana Del Rey, right? You were big for about 3 months.
I don't know. I'd never heard of her before.
No, I know of her. Couldn't tell you a single song that's hers. But here's your option: either play main stage at 3 p.m. right? Because that's your choice. Because on the main stage is Lizzo. She's not headlining, but she's playing main stage. Here's the truth about Lizzo. She is way bigger than Lana Del Rey. And her music's more popular.
Yeah.
There's a little Lizzo joke, wasn't it?
Wait, I missed it.
I'm so sad about that. I felt really good about it.
I'll watch it back. I'll laugh later.
Watch the episode. I'll edit and then film your laugh.
I'll film myself watching this clip.
Yeah.
And then, well, if I laugh, I
said was Lizzo's obviously ahead of Lana Del Rey, and that's because she's way bigger and her music's more popular.
It's not even funny
because she's big. But this is the problem. It annoyed me so much because
I didn't know she was big.
Lizzo?
Yeah.
How did you not know Lizzo's big?
I couldn't tell you what Lizzo looks like.
No, she's like the everyone's like, yeah, she's so beautiful and sexy. As she as someone rolls onto stage. Right. This video might not get many views. If YouTube watches it till the end, this video won't get many views. But no, it annoyed me. I don't know. It annoyed me so much that she was like being so stupid. Because the truth is, you could have played main stage. Lana Del Rey could have played main stage.
Yeah.
Instead, because all musicians have an ego, but some of them are egotistical idiots. She needed to say she was headlining something. To be like, oh, I'm headlining Glastonbury, but on the second stage. You're not headlining Glastonbury then, right? You're playing and you're closing the second stage.
I will say there's nothing wrong with playing Glastonbury at 3 o'clock.
There's nothing.
Do you know what?
Wrong
Like I
with
was
it.
at Isle of Wight Festival, and I think it was probably at around about 3 o'clock that I was watching C6 Steve on the main stage.
That's great.
And Dave Grohl came on to dance and like jibe as C6 Steve was rocking out.
So good.
And it was phenomenal.
My point isn't to attack artists that play main stage early, right? Because why wouldn't you? And if you're a smaller band as well,
the only
you would get
thing,
so much more money for playing main stage.
Well, I think we briefly touched on it last week. The only sort of determining factor, I think, is like to what kind of acts you put on at 3 o'clock are what genre and how heavy they are and stuff. Because you do slowly build up.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, you build up the main stage. That's why, Newton Faulkner, for example, is probably never gonna he's unlikely to headline Glastonbury.
Yeah, he's not
because it's just not the right vibe for a headline slot.
Weirdly, Ed Sheeran, for example, back in the day when he released his first album, he wasn't headlining festivals. I remember at Festival he played a smaller tent because he was up and coming. But yeah, it's the same reason. Whereas now he would headline because he does the loop pedal and the beatbox and he makes it really big. But yeah, I just thought it was stupid. I thought Lana Del Rey needs to have a think. Because to come out and attack the fact that there are people above you in a lineup because they're playing main stage, it's like they've made that decision, right? Then most of them, their names are smaller because as you get down the list of people on main stage, it gets smaller. But yeah, she would have most likely been part of that decision to headline the other stage. She's made that decision, and then she's complaining because there's obviously all of the hubbub about the all-male lineup.
Also, how do you not know how festival lineups work?
This is what I'm saying. She's been in the industry for years, like at least a decade, I reckon. She's been in the industry.
I feel like after you've been to your first festival, you've got it.
Yeah.
Like just as a punter, you know how festivals work. You know how the festival lineups work.
Yeah. Hey, I just thought it was dumb. But anyway, I don't know. That'll be the end of that. But I just thought you'd get over yourself.
I just wanted to quickly mention, it's not music related, but the Oscars just happened. right? And I don't care about the Oscars in the slightest anymore. I used to care about the Oscars back in the day.
Yeah.
Because it used to be an entertaining watch, and it also we used to be able to make good films, which we don't anymore. But it was great. There's two things, right? One was, I can't remember his name, and I'm really sorry, but short round, little kid, Key something.
Key Hui.
But he obviously won an Oscar, right?
Yeah.
And
I've
was
got more to talk
presented by Harrison Ford, which was fantastic. And they hugged each other. And I just kept seeing on TikTok the like side by side comparisons of short round hugging Indiana Jones. And then now he's up on stage getting an Oscar handed to him from Harrison Ford, which I thought was just great. That's just great wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
All round.
Key's really
I've seen more about Key. Yeah. But then also Brendan Fraser winning an Oscar.
Oh mate, his acceptance speech.
And it's like it's the only film in a very long time that I really, really want to watch is The Whale. Because I've heard good things about it. And I wanted to watch it before I'd heard good things about it, just because I love Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser was like a hero for me growing up. You know, like as a kid watching stuff like The Mummy and you know, Jungle. Oh my God, what? I've lost, the name's gone. Jungle George? George of the Jungle.
Jeez.
I was like Jungle George. Jungle George.
That's the Soviet version.
Yeah.
You come Jungle George, you swim through trees.
Yeah. That would
Jungle
be like the
Georgiev.
North Korea version, because they don't want to import a Western film, but they want George of the Jungle. Jungle George.
You can't do that.
I can.
I did.
It just happened. But it was just great. It's great to see Brendan Fraser sort of back on the spotlight, because if you don't know the past of Brendan Fraser, he's had a real rough time. Like, not just in Hollywood, but in personal life as well. He kind of got screwed over by Hollywood. If he was like a woman, it would have, like, people would have cared about it after what happened to him. It would have been a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been huge. But because Brendan Fraser's a bloke, no one gave a crap, and instead his career just plummeted because of it. But then also he's got like a crazy wife by the sounds of it, and he's been paying hundreds of thousands for like years and years, much of the time when he didn't have the money as well. So to see Brendan Fraser back on the top spot, he's got an Oscar, and he's now sort of embracing the amount of support that people have for Brendan Fraser, because there's not a lot of good guys you can root for in Hollywood, because they're all crazy psychopaths.
Yeah.
But I feel like Brendan Fraser just seems like a regular guy who's gone through some tough times, and then he's got an Oscar. And I just thought it was the whole thing that was great. It's the first time in a long time that I've given a crap about the Oscars.
Yeah.
Especially because now you've got people like Jimmy Kimmel or whatever his name is hosting it, spouting all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Was it Kimmel?
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Because he's like, people are paying attention to Jimmy Kimmel now because he might be on a certain list.
Oh.
You know the list?
I think I know the list.
Yeah, well, there's only one list really that you want to talk about. You can't name it.
Can we?
No, definitely not.
Well, the same will happen to the person who made the list.
Yo, woo!
Anyway,
what happened to that podcast?
yeah. They just stopped at episode 17. It's really weird. Halfway through an episode as well. No, and both of those people, the speeches they both gave made me genuinely cry. I thought they were phenomenal. They really emotional people, and that's the difference. Is that it's not like someone that comes up and they're like, "Oh yeah, thank you for my agent and thank you to Harvey Weinstein."
And
did you see the TikTok that was clipping all of the acceptance speeches that thank Harvey Weinstein? I thought it was so funny. Not half funny, but just like.
But then also the fact that they're not talking about like, you know, geopolitical stuff or all that nonsense and being like, cut down on your carbon footprint and all that bollocks. It's just all human.
What, Harvey Weinstein?
No, the speeches.
Oh, sure, yeah.
No,
I got confused because
you
didn't. I felt like you didn't listen to me because you were thinking about the next thing you wanted to say, and it made it very weird.
No, because you were talking about the speeches and how good they were.
Yeah,
all right, and then you went.
Changed topic.
But then I changed back topic.
Yeah, but you have to say, going back to
you don't have to change. You don't have to say, that would be weird.
Crazy,
You can't be talking about one thing and then be like, just say, you know.
I was like, and they all
back.
thanked Harvey Weinstein in this clip, and you went, and the geopolitical. I was like, what?
I'd have to rewatch it back. Maybe it was a faux pas.
I was talking about how there's a clip of just like everyone in Hollywood is talking about how, like, you know, it was the biggest. What was it? The worst kept secret, I think, was all of those monstrosities. Just quickly, you obviously mentioned Key and Harrison Ford in their moment. That was while Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Picture.
Right.
You haven't seen that film.
No.
I know you haven't seen that film because you would have spoken to me about that.
I
film.
don't watch movies anymore.
Which
I don't watch.
I
don't watch. Well, I'm a self-described film buff, but I don't set out to watch new films anymore.
I think
like they have to like stumble upon me, and they have to be at the stage where they've already garnered a reputation. Because I just don't waste my time watching films now.
I've heard people say Everything Everywhere All at Once. Am I saying that right? I think I am. Everything Everywhere.
Maybe.
All at Once. Yeah, probably. I had heard people say this is one of those generational films that will be in that list of just the greatest film and all of that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I saw someone put it as like the top comedy of last year. And I was like, I didn't know it was a comedy. Me and Becky watched it a few nights ago. And it is a film that people should watch. Now, why do I say it like that? Because if you were to say...
Because it's not a comedy.
No, it definitely has comedy parts, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's a comedy.
Isn't it the same? It's in the same way that the Academy listed The Martian as a comedy, and it's like I wouldn't tell people The Martian is a comedy.
Probably, maybe a little bit more. There were some I think there were a couple belly laughs in it, so there were some really funny parts. But the actual story it's telling isn't. Like the story feels very Matrixy or do you know what I mean? Like it had a very serious narrative to it. It was at times you're like, what the fuck am I watching? But just because of the concept of the film is mental. But it was a really enjoyable film. Like it didn't feel like a new Hollywood film. Do you know what I mean? Instead, it was like this really well written, great plot. The acting is brilliant in it. Key was amazing in it. It has Jamie Lee Curtis in it, which is funny because when she appeared on screen, me and Becky were like, "Oh, she looks like a poor man's Jamie Lee Curtis," and then the film ended, and it was like, "And Jamie Lee Curtis." Like, oh man! So she just looks she looks really different. It's not even that she looked older; she looked really, really different than she obviously looked in role models and things like that. But yeah. Definitely recommend checking it out because I don't know what to say about it. But it was just, I think we enjoyed it. We had a good time watching it, but it was just one of those where you're just like, it's a proper ride that you just have to strap yourself in.
I definitely I'm eager for new films like that. But like I said, it's just I feel like at the moment those films don't get made.
Yeah, this is the one. Check it out.
But I really want to watch The Whale, right? Mm-hmm. But I've got a slight gripe, right? Because I don't know how this has happened, right? But it is outrageous. There's only one way to watch The Whale at the moment, right? As a UK citizen. And that is to rent it from either Apple or Amazon, right? But that's not even the problem. The problem is that it cost $15.99 to rent.
That's crazy.
To rent.
Yeah, that's insane.
What is that? Like, how is that a thing? Like, if the only option was to buy, right, I'd be like, I'm not sure about buying this digital copy of something, right? But whatever. At least I have the rights to watch it whenever I want. But renting a digital copy for $15.99 is outrageous.
That's shameful.
That is more expensive than going to the cinema.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you justify that. You're like £10 for a cinema ticket. You're like, that's fine because it's a day out, and I'm also sat there with the absolute best possible viewing circumstances with my massive OLED screen and my 3D surround sound. Right, it's the perfect way to watch a film. I'm like, yeah, sure, £10, £12, whatever, even £15, that's fine. But $15.99 to rent a film that I'm going to sit here and watch in my mono speakers or my headset or whatever, right, is ridiculous. And I don't know how that's happened.
Especially in this day, we're in the era of convenience, right? The easiest way to watch something is how people will watch it. So streaming exists. You got Apple, you got Disney, you got Amazon. You just got this long list of platforms. Who owns it? Who owns The Whale? Is it an Apple?
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I haven't looked into it. I thought it was an independent film.
Yeah, but then it's an independent film until someone buys it. And
well, yeah, that's true. But then I don't know because
I wonder if it's Apple.
I don't know. Because
you can watch films on Apple TV though.
Yeah, but you can only rent it.
No, but my point is that if it was owned by Apple and Apple TV,
but that's what I mean.
TV
I don't think it's owned by.
I
definitely don't think it's owned by Apple.
Really weird.
But I think it might just be a European thing as well, because I think in America you can just watch. This film has been available for ages, and I don't understand how this has happened with this particular film. But I think it might be a weird indie film thing because it's an indie film. It takes a lot longer for it to then somehow seep through because I don't know. I guess people have to buy the rights to it or whatever. But it's just, I'm like, I just want to watch The Whale. Like everyone's talking about The Whale, right? Brendan Fraser's been recognised for his performance, and even before the Oscar, all I've heard is from everyone is about how fantastic Brendan Fraser is.
Yeah.
Right, even just within the industry, like other actors are just being like, his performance is incredible, and I'm like, I really want to see this goddamn film. And then I'm like, it finally pops up in the UK, $15.99.
Yeah, that's
to
insane.
rent it. To rent
I can't think
film.
I can't think of a single film that would cost that much.
Even
to
buy new movies are normally not $15.99.
No, it'd be like a tenner.
Yeah,
$9.99, maybe $14.99 for HD.
Jesus Christ, I just don't understand.
I don't know. If only you could use some software to change the geotag on your devices.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
And then if you could do that,
I've got another gripe.
What's
do you know?
Gripe? This is an angry end of the podcast,
the
guys.
amount of it might just be my particular VPN, but I have used 2 different VPNs, right?
What's a VPN? You're like, do you know the thing you just described?
But one of the selling points of the VPN, right, is what they literally they sell it to you, right? In every YouTube video you watch where they're sponsored by VPN, the selling message from that VPN is, you can change your location to your country, so you can watch like Netflix, you can watch American Netflix or whatever. You can shoot down in Australia and watch Australian Netflix. Right?
Yeah, what's your gripe?
Netflix picks up the fact that you're using a VPN and says you can't use this.
Does it? What, on only one of the VPNs you're using?
I've tried 2 different VPNs now. I'm not going to name them by sort of brand or whatever. But I've tried 2 different separate VPNs now. And it's like the amount of, like, it's almost everything. Everything you use, it's like, oh, we've noticed you're using a VPN, so you can't use it.
Weird, yeah.
And I'm like, for God's sake.
People are going to have to change a lot of adverts.
The stupid thing is I'm not, most of the time, I'm not using a VPN to be in America so I can watch something else. I'm using a VPN just for security purposes. Yeah. I'm just using a VPN set in the UK. And then it's like you'll go and watch Now TV or something, and it's like, we've detected you're using a VPN. And I'm like, for God's sake, I'm using a VPN to protect myself online, which is the main reason people use a goddamn VPN.
Yeah. Weird. I haven't experienced it yet. So, what's that on? Your laptop?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you can VPN using other things. Well, I don't know how to end now. I feel
I don't know. We just had a little rant about a bunch of stuff.
I've not seen that as a problem yet, though. Because I use a VPN to access a few things.
It might just be the current VPN that I'm using, in which case it's a trash VPN and I'm immediately switching.
I've just started using a free VPN.
I think the thing... Oh, really?
Well, yeah. That works absolutely fine.
Maybe we'll have a chat afterwards.
Maybe this episode could be bought to...
Because apart from that, I don't know what the best VPN... Because this is the problem is as well. There's so many goddamn VPNs to choose from now.
Let us know what VPN you like down the deadest comment. No, guys, if you've watched this far, why? I don't know why, but if you have, I love you, and I'll send you some money or something.
I like you as a friend.
Just drop your Venmos below. Don't drop your Venmos below. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please do comment and subscribe and all of the other stuff you do like. Because last week, I don't know what happened. I think we said a naughty or something.
Maybe we were just bad.
Maybe we were bad. Well, I'm not feeling great about this episode then. But thanks for joining us, guys. See you next week.
Ciao.